Hello again, everyone. It's Bethany. Time for your weekly OT activities. This week we are doing Under the Sea, Ocean. So we'll start out with some pirate yoga, and then we'll move to the table to see what activities we have. So you can follow along with me with the handout that you have in your binder. I'm just going to be going along through these poses that these pirates are doing. Scoot back so you can see me. The first one is a mountain pose. The mountain pose, stand with your feet together, your hands at your side. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in and out. Try to squish your feet down onto the floor. Maybe curl your toes, really feel your feet on the floor. Big deep breath in and out. Okay, now that was a little bit of a relaxing pose. These next ones are kind of silly and kind of difficult. So if you feel frustrated during these next poses, or if they're too very silly and your body starts getting very wiggly, you can always go back to feet flat on the floor. Deep breath in, your mountain pose. So for now, we will move on to the eagle. First, you're going to crisscross your arms in front of your body, and then crisscross your legs and bend down for the eagle pose. Oh, it's hard to balance like this. If you need to rest your toe on the ground, that's okay. I'm going to try to balance for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, can't forget the other leg. Try to cross your arms the other way. Cross your legs the other way. If it's hard to balance, you can rest your toe on the ground. I'm going to see if I can balance for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, the next one looks hard. Like you have to be really flexible. I know I am not as flexible as that pirate, but I will do my best to lift one leg up in the air. Balancing. I might want to rest my hand on the wall or on the couch is a good place to help you keep your balance. So for this one, I'm going to rest on the window. And I'm going to lift up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a good stretch and very hard balance. The next one is called the Lord of Dance pose. You have to put your leg behind you and then hold it with your hand. Reach up like you're doing a happy dance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And don't forget the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this one looks like my favorite. It's called the prayer squat. He has his feet out. I think it's my favorite because he's a skeleton and I think that's pretty cool. His feet are out and his hands are together and he's squatting all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do a little bonus and I'm going to wiggle side to side during my prayer squat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the last one is half moon. So he's standing on one foot, and then like a little teapot, I'm going to go over until I touch the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stand up. Other way. Stand on one foot, and then tip over to the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And before we go over to the table, I'm going to try my mountain pose again just to make sure my body is nice and relaxed. I'm going to push my feet as hard as I can into the ground. Arms to my side, deep breath. And then we're gonna head over to the table.
I'm going to pause you while I get set up.
Okay, we are back at the table. For today, you're gonna need your scissors, glue, and then either your markers or your crayons. And also a scrap piece of paper if you have it. If not, you can always use the back of one of your worksheets for your drawing. So the first thing that we have is just a simple tracing activity. We're gonna help the shark try to catch the fish. The important part about this one is to go super slow and try to make sure that you go exactly on the line. So I'm going to show you a trick for a marker cap today. If your child tends to hold their marker with a whole fist, you can have them put their marker cap in the palm of their hand and then curl their pinky and their ring finger over the marker cap to hold it in place. And that's a cue for them to use their first 3 fingers to hold their marker rather than using their whole fist. So just put the cap in their palm and then have them hold it with their last 2 fingers. And then if they're doing the ones that have a little bit of a pattern, try to ask them to glue their hand down on the page and only move their fingers. So if they're moving with that finger movement, it's going to be building more muscles in their hands than if they just take their whole arm and move their arm up and down, up and down. So that's your challenge this week, guys. Try to hold your marker or your crayon with your fingertips, pinch, pinch, and then try to move your fingers, bend and straighten them to trace on the line. If you go off of the line a little bit, don't worry, that's just a small problem. Just go back on. See, I'm not even doing it perfect. Take your time, go slow, and try to stay right on the line. The next thing that you have is going to be a maze. You'll notice that my maze looks a little bit different than yours. What I did was I made some of the dead ends, I just blacked them out. So there's a lot going on in this maze, and if that's too difficult, then you can ask, if you're one of my students, you can ask your parents, or if you're a parent, you can help your child by blacking off some of the dead ends. So that's a way that you can make this maze a little bit easier. The next activity is similar to the hidden picture we did last week. There's not quite so much going on in there, so I think that it's reasonable to expect that you could get through this whole sheet. I think we'll do the first one together here, and then you guys can do the rest of them on your own. So I'm going to search for the sea turtle. I'm going to pick one color for the sea turtle, and then anytime I find it in the picture, I'm going to color it. So here's a sea turtle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sea turtles. So then I'm going to come down here in this box and I'm going to write the number. It's hard to write up in the air like this. Write the number 5. If it's difficult for your child to remember and to write their numbers all by themselves, you can do one of 2 things. You can either take a highlighter and write the number for them and then have them trace it, or you can, on the bottom of their page, write a little number line to remind them of what all the different numbers look like. So if they found 5 sea turtles, they could reference the bottom number line and say, oh, that's what number 5 looks like, and then copy it from the number line rather than remembering specifically what number 5 looks like. The next activity is another one of our cut and sort activities. And for this one, I made it a little bit easier by bolding a green line across. And that will be a little bit of a visual reminder as to where the child is supposed to cut. There's a lot going on with these little pictures and all of the lines. The green will just help your child focus on where is it that I'm supposed to cut. So remember those 2 tips whenever we're cutting. We're going to put thumbs up when we cut and then cut away from your body. So I'm going to cut the green ones first, and it's just a straight line across the page. And then I'm going to cut the next green one, same thing, thumbs up when we cut, and then cut away from my body. And if my scissors get too far away from my hand, then I'm going to have my hand catch up to my scissors. That will make it easier to control my paper. And then one more green line, thumbs up, cut away from my body. Oh, my scissors are getting pretty far away from my hand, so I'm going to have my hand catch up to my scissors. And then once you cut those first big lines, then you have these little strips that are very easy to cut, because then you just have to snip on the little lines. So I want to remember the same thing, thumbs up and cut away, but with snipping, it's just one foul swoop. And then I've got my tiger ready to glue. Thumbs up, cut away from my body, and snip. If you start on the other side, then you can just reposition your hand and you won't have to pick up your paper again. Snip, move your paper, snip, move your paper, snip, move your paper. So then once you have all those cut out, you get to decide, is it a thing that swims, a thing that flies, or a thing that walks? The things that swim are the ones that fit in with our ocean theme today, huh? And then the very last thing is one of our how-to drawing activities. So you've got lots of choices of things to draw: a whale, a fish, a dolphin, or a shark. I'm going to try to share my screen with you as I do the how to draw a shark. Let me see if I can figure it out. Oh, whiteboard. Perfect. So I'm going to follow the steps 1 through 6 and see if I can draw a shark. You can draw along with me on your paper. So the first step is just a big curved line. My picture might not look exactly like the example. If there's something different, that's just a small problem and I can ignore it. Step number 2, I'm going to draw a curved line up and down for the mouth. Step 3, I'm going to draw a V shape for the fin, a flipper, I guess. I know some of you kids who really love and know about sharks are going to be like, Bethany, that's not a fin. You guys are the experts, huh? And then step number 4 is the belly. So it's a curved line by the flipper. Step 5, oh, there's lots of things happening in step 5. Up and down for the dorsal fin. Up, down, and then up again for the tail fin. Oh, I see his other flipper peeking behind here with another V shape. And then what shape am I going to use for the eye? A circle? Oh, my eye is very great big. You might be a surprised shark, huh? And then a black dot inside. Step number 6, there's little lines down for his gills. Shark teeth, can't forget about those. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And the shark in the picture is angry, but because my shark has such a great big eyeball, I'm going to make him a surprised shark. So you'll see, my shark did not look exactly like the example shark, but that's okay because not all sharks look the same, huh? Thank you guys for doing OT this week. I will be getting in touch with everyone to see if you'd be interested in doing a live OT session with me next week. If not, I will still be posting videos so you can follow along with the OT activities whenever it's convenient for you. Miss you guys. Hope all is well for you.